I've obviously become obsessed with stories of birth and hospital stories, and because your phone obviously picks up on everything you're doing.
Yeah.
So when I was in the hospital, on my, the Instagram Discover page,
Yeah.
every single square was some form of birth or boob, breastfeeding story, at home with the new baby. And I went through all of them.
Yeah.
And I saw so many hospital bands numbers, so you can see your hospital number. And just thinking, if I was a fraudster, I'd be able to steal these hospital numbers. And I'm sure, I don't know what you would do with a hospital number, but there must be some kind of fraud you could do with that. And
I like the idea of you kind of like being in the hospital, going a little bit crazy, planning this sort of grand bank robbery that you're going to be doing on all these sort of new mothers.
But if you dedicate yourself... I just wait for it.
Yeah, do you mind? You fucking idiot. Jesus Christ.
I missed that orange chair. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's
do you want a
fine.
pillow?
That was a...
It's a bench, isn't it?
That's cool. That was all just... That was...
Yeah.
That was,
But I thought that was quite funny.
That's fine.
I do think that if you dedicate yourself to something, to one thing, every single day, if that's your entire focus in life, you get there eventually. So if I did say, right, from today onwards, I am going to become a hacker, a computer hacker and a fraudster, I'm going to steal people's identities, I would get there in a couple of months' time.
You sound like a very sort of weird motivational speaker.
Yeah, but I also would love to be a motivational speaker. And if I dedicated myself to that every day, I could become one. I'm very good at pep talks.
Yeah. You are very good at pep talks, for sure. For sure.
I
Although
actually could monetize that.
I'm not good at pep talks for you because I tried to pep talk you yesterday into keeping our video up.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe you want to explain to our fellow listeners and hopefully viewers, unless Jessie decides to change her mind again.
It depends how tired I look.
Why didn't we upload the video yesterday? Because we already did the first episode.
Well, basically, I was watching the YouTube premiere yesterday morning with the two other people.
Yeah.
It was actually quite a lot actually yesterday. It was up to 100.
Of people watching it at 9 a.m. Yeah, that was nice. Yeah.
It was quite nice. I was watching it and I saw myself and I immediately almost vomited. I was horrified because I thought, I want to look nice. This is the first one back since having a baby. So I put on some mascara and makeup. I do not suit makeup.
Yeah, you did a kind of interesting combo of a gold eyeshadow and a grey eyeliner that together looked green. It looked like a muddy green.
Also, I don't have your eyelashes. I have really stumpy little eyelashes. So there's just no point in mascara. And my top bun was going mental and had one strand going down the front, so it looked like a toupee.
Yeah, you did have a very stray strand.
And it kept shaking. And then, because I was breastfeeding, it'd be nice for people to see, an Earth Mother breastfeeding.
Yeah. We're radical feminists.
Yeah.
We're not going to mention it.
But don't see my nipple.
Yeah.
I looked, and we were sitting on Donny and Margot's little table.
That was a bad idea.
So the angle was very low, so we both looked quite big, both of us. And
Well,
you were pulling up your little red socks.
I know.
And every so often they fell down and you pulled them back up. So I just thought, just for both of us, let's just not have this in the public domain. People can watch it for the premiere and then delete.
Totally.
And you, obviously, I thought you would be fine with it because I thought you would agree that I looked awful and you wouldn't want me to have that out there. Also, I have not slept. Let's just put that out there. I have not slept in days.
Sure.
So I just thought, and also given our experience, which we did talk about in the podcast last week, of how Apple have used the
worst photos of us known to man.
The internet is cruel.
Yeah, exactly.
And they could have screenshotted me as I'm getting my boob out and as my toupee is falling down.
That's true. That is
and
true.
that will be out there forever. And I am a serious actress slash person.
Exactly. I think no matter how kind of level-headed and sort of adult we try to be about, we can't really control our image and we've sort of sacrificed some level of control because we're out here doing a podcast. At the same time, anything that we can retain for ourselves, we probably should, right?
Definitely.
Because that's vanity and that's fine to have a little bit of it.
I don't mind admitting that I am incredibly vain. And I give off the impression that I'm very, I don't think I give off the impression of being that vain. Do you think I do?
I don't think it's vanity that you give off the impression of having. You definitely give off
lack of vanity. I think I give off the impression of being very, very not vain.
No, I was just going to say, I think it's actually a different spectrum. I don't think that I think of you and think of either vain or not vain. I see you and I think of maintenance. I think you come across as quite high maintenance.
What?
Because Jessie, you have like flawless skin. You have hair that goes down to your ankles. Not many people can attain those things.
No, but that implies that I don't have time to do anything.
No, it doesn't. You think it does. You think that you come across as this like ramshackle, like, oh, I'm just a spirit running through the forest.
I am a spirit running through the forest. I'm a free spirit running through the forest.
But I think actually, women want to have great skin and want to have great hair and all this kind of stuff. But it can be really difficult to maintain those things. You're somebody that clearly has been able to achieve those things, which is really fucking impressive. But it doesn't take no skill or no maintenance whatsoever.
Yeah, but I'm not sitting here exfoliating 24 hours a day.
No, and you're not. You're not.
No.
You look like you're somebody that has naturally, genetically been blessed.
I
But at the
exfoliate
same
once
time-
a day, like everybody should.
I think that, yeah.
Sometimes twice.
Yeah, but I think that, no, you definitely, you give off the impression of somebody that, like, looks after themselves.
Okay, I thought I didn't. I thought I came across like she's just so relaxed.
No, I'm afraid you're going to have to give that up. That's
So you think people can
long
tell
gone.
that I'm not a relaxed person?
I think that you are possibly the least relaxed person
Yeah.
seemingly ever.
I am realising that. And I'm realising that more and more, given that I am now aware that I'm with somebody who is the most relaxed person to a fault
Yeah.
in the world.
Yeah.
He's so fucking relaxed.
But he's not, I would say, like, unthinking about his own vanity and, like,
No,
taking
he's a
care of
very
himself.
strange sort of vein too, because he does care, but he has this thing of. So lately, when we got back from the hospital and stuff, and there was no way we could cook with the other kids and stuff, so we just basically had takeaway every night for a week, and it made you feel quite gross. And he has this thing of starting a new regime on Monday. Every Sunday, he's like. No, every Monday he's like, oh, no, I'll start next Monday. I'll start my new regime, my new life regime on Monday. He's done this every week throughout our relationship. And I find it quite annoying given that I'm usually quite balanced and, boring.
I know, but we were talking about this earlier. I think that it's probably more common than you would think that people have a new regime that they start on Monday.
Yeah, true.
I mean, everybody like kind of bakes a cake to celebrate the fact that they're going to go on a diet on the Monday type of thing.
But he looks really, again, he looks quite disheveled and he doesn't care about how he looks. But then a package comes through the door and it's a box of collagen eye masks. And he was at his friend Ian Sterling's house, whose girlfriend is Laura Whitmore,
Very glamorous.
Very, very glamorous.
Very glamorous.
And he was over at their house watching Liverpool Football Club. And Laura was sitting on the sofa apparently with these eye masks, and she gave some. She was like, oh, do you want to try them, to Alfie? The next day, Alfie bulk bought these collagen eye masks. And they're amazing. They're so good.
That is true.
So I have got into them lately, given that I look so tired, which is why I deleted the YouTube clip. And I'm sorry if anybody was actually looking forward to watching that. I'm sure that they weren't, but
You can always listen. It's episode 7. It's on
You
Apple
can listen.
and Spotify now.
but basically, I am a vain person,
And that's okay.
That's okay.
There's power in admitting it, you know?
Yeah.
It's probably way lamer to be vain and try and give off the impression that you're not at all, you know?
which is what I usually do.
You know, that's where we're at.
But the irony is that half an hour after I had bitched at you and delete it now, I look awful.
Yeah,
I would do that if you looked awful.
that's true. You would.
I
You're
would.
very generous in
I
that
am,
way.
and I always check before I Instagram you.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I do look amazing in a photo, and you look so
Horrendous.
bad.
No. I have the capability to look terrible.
You do. So do I, though, to be fair. So half an hour after I bitched at you, I went for a walk with Alfie, and I was saying to him, I did the typical female thing of, because it's not that I feel like it's very dangerous territory, but I basically want to look my best, and I don't feel like I do at the moment, and that's partly because I've had no time to look after myself. I usually have 8 showers a day, and I just don't have time to look after myself the way I used to, which is normal. The baby's 5 weeks old, that's fine. But I was talking to him and saying I really want to be one of these people that's just had a baby and doesn't look their best but is fine with it. But I'm finding that really difficult to accept, and I realised it all comes down to weight with me, and that's why I felt in the YouTube video I felt like I looked quite frumpy, And I don't know why I've got this kind of fear of looking frumpy. I think it's because I've always just thought thinner is better. And I've always been told thinner is better. I don't believe thinner is better, but because I've got this kind of borderline disorder with, I've got kind of a body dysmorphia, I think. Well, Alfie thinks I do. That's his nickname for me.
I think that I definitely think that you do, for sure.
I definitely have a body dysmorphia.
Because to me, you looked beautiful. To me, you always look very radiant and beautiful and healthy. And
That's very sweet.
often you'll be saying something that completely is out of line or not aligned with how I view you. So I know that everybody probably has a degree of it, but I think you really do.
Well, so I would like to not be one of these. I don't want to always struggle. I don't want to always worry about weight. I wish I didn't count calories. I wish I didn't care about exercise as much as I do. And I have had no time to exercise. And I think actually the more I exercise, the better I feel about myself, because I'm not my thinnest when I'm exercising. And now, you always tell me that exercise actually doesn't make a difference to your weight, really. But so I was going on this walk with Alfie, and I was saying I just want to be happy with myself and not worry about getting a bit bigger, because that's natural. I'm 33, I've got 3 kids.
Yeah.
It's fine if I'm half a stone heavier than I was when I was 20.
Exactly.
That's fine. Actually, probably a couple of stone heavier. But I find that really difficult to let myself feel.
I think that maybe if we were going to get all Freud about it, the idea that you were anxious about looking frumpy in a video with your new baby the first time that people are going to see that and everything like that, it's scary to accept the fact that you are having to let go of this young woman version of yourself. You're obviously still a young woman, but the fact is with 3 kids now, you have a responsibility to be this mother. And so maybe your desire to not look frumpy is kind of you maybe not running away from, but being scared of that idea of losing that part of yourself completely that's young and that's independent. And
exactly.
I think that you're on your way there, and you're the most amazing mother and everything like that, and you're not frumpy in the slightest, but I can understand why you wouldn't want to lose that last grip that you have of independence, youthfulness, beauty, especially since as like women we're told and like brought up to
I
believe,
think as actresses we're told
to believe that that is the most important thing. To look youthful and sexy and whatever. It is so fucking annoying that like we always start it, then I get in a bad mood, we have to stop, and then we start again, and I seem like an insane person.
Yeah, that was so obvious watching it. And when we did a big jump cut, we just had to stop because BB started crying.
And then I come back and my face is like,
hi, everything's fine. It would be quite funny actually if each time we start a podcast, we are recovering
from something incredibly dramatic.
An epic fight, yeah.
I mean, what we're recovering from today, which we did just speak about, but we had to stop because me and Jessie got a little spiff again.
No, you got upset when I was being brutal.
Yeah.
That's usually the way it goes.
That's usually the way that is. But what we mentioned before, that's our issue to solve this week, is that Jessie wanted us to delete episode 7, the footage that we had.
Yeah.
I think I was just being selfish because I thought I actually looked quite nice.
I don't think you did look that nice.
I had nice, cute little red socks on.
No, they're socks that were given to me after I did something. They were meant. That was for a character I was playing that was really frumpy, and you were wearing those socks. I find just so tragic about you, but also so endearing about you as a person, is that being the youngest of 5, you just everything you own
is hand-me-down.
It's some form of hand-me-down, or
this is yours. These socks are Jamie's.
The jeans, the only thing that you bought.
I bought these when I was 17.
Even that chain is somebody else's.
This is Grandma's.
Yeah, but also we're recently clearing out our family storage unit.
Yeah.
Which you will see in the coming weeks on the podcast, because we're going to use this studio. Don't touch my flat.
Sorry.
We're going to use this studio as a storage home whilst we decant our storage unit. So in the coming weeks, you might see huge amounts of boxes in the background.
Yeah. You might see a little corner of a dress poking out, and then the next episode, I'll be wearing it.
Or you might see a 6-foot cardboard cutout of a beaver.
Or our little mini cutout of Ray Winstone or Dolly Parton.
Which we use in the Flat Whites videos if you ever saw them. I might just have to have a pause.
Yeah.
So my mum recently bought a load of bags back for us to go through to see if we wanted any of my disgusting old clothes to keep, which I haven't thought about in a decade. And I said no to all of them. I said, no, just get rid of them, next time I see BB, she's got 4 of them in her room, all full clothes. It's like a disgusting dressing gown. Stuff like this, you just keep.
I have a lot of self-confidence when it comes to upcycling outfits, and I keep them in there. I try them out a few different ways, and normally 6 months down the line, they have to go.
But you always choose the most comfy, like usually a fleece material kind of homeware.
Yeah. What would you say is my quintessential outfit? If I was like a cartoon character like in The Simpsons where they wear one outfit, what would my outfit be?
It would definitely be male tracksuit bottoms that have been handed down by an old man, and a jumper not as nice as that.
Yeah, this is a good.
That makes you look quite
built, like a
quite
rugby
built.
player. Yeah.
And like fleece material socks, and some kind of dressing gown.
Yeah. Or like a hospital dressing gown.
A hospital. BB got drunk when she was about 17 and she had to be hospitalised. It's not her finest moment. She doesn't respond to any kind of substance very well. I mean, alcohol. She hasn't done any substances, not that I know of anyway. But she's a dark horse. So she had to wear a hospital gown. And she wore it for ages as
I
a
wore it for about
nightie.
6 months. That was like my A-level revision outfit.
And I've got a video
Incredibly
of you.
comfortable, but you've got to wear pants because that's an open back. That's a fully open back.
They made me wear one for giving birth, and I really didn't want to this time. Yeah, I forgot about the open back.
Sure.
But I've got a video of you doing, it was at the time when Anna Kendrick had done that version of Cups.
Cup song.
And I've got your video of you doing Cups.
I can still do that. I'm not going to do it actually because I forgot the microphone.
And you look like you're in a mental hospital and I've come to visit you for the day.
Yeah, I look very girl interrupted in that period of time in my life. I also went for a lot of heavy eyeliner, but I didn't quite know. A bit of a feline eye flick, but I didn't know how to do it then. I still don't quite know how to do it now, but I just had a very grungy Britney 2007 kind of look.
Somebody hasn't taken off their makeup in 2 weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's my cartoon character.
Yeah,
it's either that or like a 50s dress or something. I have a huge kind of like spectrum of extremes. When it comes
you
to
do
my
go
fashion.
from Homer Simpson on one hand to
January Jones and Mad Men.
Yeah,
insane. Okay, so what would your cartoon character outfit be?
it would be just entirely. What would it be?
It would be leggings with a hole in.
Yeah.
But a tastefully placed hole. Your holes always look. That's a horrible way to start a sentence. The holes in your leggings always look very like All Saints. Like maybe you paid £700 for those leggings, you don't know. And you would be wearing a t-shirt with an animal on it, and on top of that a jumper with another animal on it, but a different type of animal.
Yeah,
You'd be wearing a headband, you'd be wearing double plaits, and you'd be having some like cool socks with like a little ribbon around them.
Very cool.
And trainers.
They're probably meant for a 6-year-old.
Yeah, and your glasses.
Yeah.
There we go, we've got it.
Alfie's starting to put in motion a ban on my double plaits.
No.
Yeah.
Why?
I know. It's really, really awful actually, because they are part of my identity, wearing these disgustingly long pigtails. You know, even I went through a phase of my quadruple plait look.
That was a good look for a while.
I was going out with an older man at the time. Now I realise it was quite fucked up.
Yeah, that was Lolita Express for sure.
It really was. And he really liked the quadruple plait look.
God, yeah.
So now I think that was quite a weird time.
Yeah, you were infantilizing yourself fully, but it also promoted wonderful hair growth, so thank you.
But the problem is, people think it's infantilizing myself and it's a very weird look, but it's just practical.
Yeah.
Because it's a way, my hair is very heavy, 2 plaits sometimes, it's just a bit, I just thought, if I split the hair up into 4 sections, plait it,
Exactly.
I'll have no knots by the end of the day.
Exactly, and it's only 4 plaits, you know, she's flirting with the idea of cultural appropriation, but it's still not quite there, you know, she's not exactly got like, you know, braided dreadlocks.
No, which I did have for a few, do you remember when I went to Thailand? I came back
with
like
cornrows. That was fucking awful.
like Monica from Friends.
And you kept on wearing muscle tees, you know, like shirts with the sleeves cut off. What
Yeah.
the fuck was going on with you?
It's because I was at my thinnest. And I
Yeah.
just wanted to just look
Yeah,
at
yeah,
my
yeah.
most bizarre.
Exactly, very androgynous.
I really would love to look androgynous one day. I really would. If I didn't have odd ears,
Yeah.
I think I would suit a shaved head.
You wouldn't, but so just know that. But also, you would look good with like quite a short bob. You would.
Don't try and fuck me up.
Yeah, yeah,
Don't
yeah,
try and fuck me
yeah,
up.
that's just
I
my
would like to
suggestion.
get a short bob one day, but then I know that my hair will never grow back.
Exactly. So you might as well keep it while you got
Yeah.
it. While you got it.
Um,
So, well, at least we're in a better mood now.
I do feel in a better mood.
Yeah,
it's
me
nice.
too. Yeah. It's
Well,
because I held the baby. It's like I felt quite dark and a bit confused, and then I held the baby, and suddenly I just filled with this like radiant light. He
It is so funny.
The most addictive thing in the world.
Watching you and our mum with the baby, or anyone really, but mainly you, when you hold the baby, you become so funny. Watching you the other day, BB basically looked after him for most of the day. The sounds BB was making.
I was just like, ooh, ah.
Do you like that? Do you like that? Do you want some?
It's like I treat him like I treated our cat that we had when I was a child that had to be sent away because I squeezed him too hard. But I don't squeeze this too hard.
Poor Bobo.
Poor Bobo. He did try to kill himself.
Yeah, he did. He wanted to get away from you.
He used up like 7 of his 9 lives jumping out the top floor window.
I remember that morning vividly. Oh, actually, we can't talk about that because we weren't meant to have ever admitted that he became so brain damaged.
I think
I
it's
don't
enough
think-
time. I think we have like a statute of limitations. that's
I don't
passed
think
now.
our relatives will listen to this.
Yeah.
We know that they don't actually.
No.
No one listens to this
No.
who's related to us.
No. I don't think even any of my friends particularly listen to it.
No. I think that's because...
Maybe I don't have that many friends.
But I don't know if I would listen to us. If
I think I
didn't
would find
know
it
us.
cringe, yeah.
No, but if I didn't know us and I was listening to our podcast, if I saw that they were doing a podcast and they're sisters, and if I didn't really know anything about them, I'd be like, why the fuck am I going to listen to their podcast? Why the fuck am I going to do that?
Do you find that you enjoy the relationship that we have together, like the working relationship that we have, like the fact that we incorporate each other a lot into our stuff? Or do you find that it's kind of more stress than it's worth when
No.
it comes to personal like stuff that gets in the way?
I've always prefer I live my life, and this is what Alfie always says to me. I do everything with the most amount of stress and difficulty as possible. I don't make anything easy for myself in life or work. I always do things. Whenever I do anything creatively, or so a show or writing, it's always just a horrible period of time for everybody who knows me, because I don't handle stress well. I always bitch about what I'm doing,
Yeah.
but that's how I do things, and I love doing all of stuff. Like every show I've done, do you remember? So and because I've only ever done things creatively from the beginning with you, I think that's probably why it's become full circle again, and now we're working together so much because that's the only thing I know.
Yeah.
So I just can't imagine doing it another way really without you. But Alfie kind of has joked about, so now that I finished the book and kind of I hinted that I might like to do another one. And he almost had a nervous breakdown because he said, I cannot go through that again. Because I wasn't horrible, but it was all encompassing for so many weeks and months that I just don't think I really, I wasn't able to dote on him. Not that I ever dote on him, but I not only didn't dote on him, but I was also quite abusive to him. Not abusive in a verbal or physical way, but just in I'm doing this, go away. Where he would like poke his head around the door and I'd be like, just go away.
I don't know. I think that that's like sort of the compromise that you have to make in a relationship, though. Like you were fulfilling something that is incredibly difficult and also a passion and a dream of yours, and he was helping you in the ways that he could. But like,
Yes, but I don't know. You seem to have more passions and dreams that have been kind of long-term passions and dreams. I don't have any I've never decided that I wanted to write a book. I never decided I wanted to be an actress.
you fall into these things quite naturally.
I
You're
fell
quite
into
a
everything I've ever
happy-go-lucky
done.
Person,
Yeah.
except with the happy or lucky part.
Yeah, I'm not happy or lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll just go.
Yeah. But that's I don't know if that's good or bad, but I don't think that I've ever wanted to. I've never And that's what we were talking about before we deleted the last one because we had a little fight.
Just a mini one. Just
Just
keep
a
it
little one,
fresh.
just to get us going in the day. Have a fight, start
Exactly.
the day.
It's like a vocal warm-up at this point.
It's cleansing.
Yeah. You sort of trip into stuff, but you tend to have a very good proactive attitude when you're there. Whereas someone like me or Alfie, which we spoke about on our episode with him, will think about something and really ruminate about it for ages and ages before. But then when it actually comes to like, you know, D-Day, you've got to do it. But it's way, way more difficult for us. You know, you're very type A and you're very capable in that regard, which is super cool. So even if you don't plan stuff out way, way, way in advance, at least you get it done. That's what you want to be.
No, I'm not capable at all. I just give off the impression of being capable.
Well, that's impressive too. So that's good.
I did have a really good link.
Oh.
I did have such a good thought,
That's
and
a
I
shame.
thought, oh, that's going to link to so many things. It's
And
going to
now it's just like a bird flying away.
yeah, it's going to tie
And you can see
tie
it
up
in the
everything.
distance, but you're not going to get it back.
No, there is a person washing his windows over there quite thoroughly and for a long period of
Suggestively.
time. You don't need to wash a window that hard. What's he
No.
done to the window?
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, so Alfie has been doing late night twitching. Do you know what Twitch is?
Twitch is, from my understanding, a gaming streaming service, right? So you play games and then you talk about it and people can like watch and donate money.
Well, that's a common misconception, BB, because actually twitching is a new way of broadcasting, and especially right now where most performers can't gig.
Yeah.
A lot of performers are migrating to Twitch over things like Instagram Live and stuff. So you have to have you have to be quite good technically. I'll just turn that on airplane mode.
Daddy, we don't need to talk in the family WhatsApp group right now.
So you have to have quite a good computer and you have to be quite technologically savvy, which obviously I'm not. But so basically, I go to bed now at 9 with the kids, which is quite difficult because it's quite difficult getting 3 kids to sleep at one point. So I just basically now just go to sleep with them. No books, lights off. And my lazy way of doing books right now is getting them to tell me the story. Even though Donnie can kind of read, Margot can't. I just say, just tell me what's happening in the story. Because when I'm breastfeeding, I can't turn the page. And that's that was written off. So now I just let them do their shows. So they get up and they act out what they think the book would be.
That's so lovely.
It goes on
so lovely.
Goes on for way too long. Anyway, so Alfie goes upstairs and does the twitching. And one of the topics on his Twitch stream yesterday was polyamory. And I just thought it would be quite interesting to talk about because I don't know if you remember, I used to kind of be quite like, I used to pretend that I would be really into polyamory because I thought that was cool.
Oh yeah, who hasn't? Oh yeah. Everyone flirts with the idea that they could potentially be okay with it, but also at the same time, it probably is horrifying to most people. I think the people that can actually pull it off, good for you.
Yeah.
But
who? I really wish there was more kind of. If I knew more case studies of couples that had done it.
have you seen the Louis Theroux on polyamory?
Yeah, loved it.
Jesus
loved
fucking
it.
Christ. But what I found so fascinating about that is there's one person that's clearly cool with it, the woman that has a husband and also has a boyfriend. But the husband who says that he's cool with it, it's so clear that this is literally breaking his heart every day. So I don't think that, even if polyamory works for you, it's not going to work for everybody that you're with. So it's about if you want to be selfish and follow your own desires and explore this part of yourself, which I think you're allowed to do, or if you're going to think about other people, you know? So there's so many different things to consider. Would you want to be, I don't know, selfish in that way?
No, I just think it would be quite a nice because I always jump to break up the second we have even a minor fight. It's always right. We're breaking up now. Where are you going to live? Where am I going to live? What's going to happen? And that's why I think it'd be quite nice to get married because then there would be some kind of a barrier before I go to the breakup thing. But he's been married before. He doesn't want to get married, and he doesn't want to get married just so that we can't break up.
Yeah.
You know? I think
Yeah.
So I think because I just have this very low, I don't believe that relationships last, really. I'm scared of letting myself believe that they could last because then, I don't know, I just have a warped attitude to long-term relationships. And I think that's my insecurity. And because of, I don't really know any long-term relationships that are amazing.
Yeah.
Do you?
I guess I'm only thinking of examples of people that are kind of my age or a little bit older that have been with their boyfriend or girlfriend for like 3 or 4 years.
Under 30 doesn't count.
Exactly, because in my mind, 3 or 4 years is a long-term relationship, but unless you are married and have kids, it doesn't really fucking count, does it?
Nope.
Yeah. Okay, no, I don't know any then.
So like 40 plus, maybe with kids, definitely married. Do you know any?
Yeah, I know one couple that I can think of. Horatio's mum's sister has a really nice relationship, and they're super in love and
Okay, cool.
whatever.
Well, that's the only one I know.
That's genuinely the only one I know too.
I don't know any.
Wow.
I know long-term relationships that are quite miserable,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what I don't want to be. I don't want to be in the kind of stereotypical long-term, oh, there's my ball and chain husband who's
Gotcha.
in the shed again, doing his Twitch. I don't want to do that.
No.
So I think it's my fear. So that's whenever I've heard stories of polyamory, I kind of get quite excited because I think, oh, that's how we can stay together and that's how he won't leave me. Or that's how I won't leave him. That's how we won't get bored of each other because there's like a
Like, it's
person
this
coming
magic
in.
trick, yeah.
And there's also something quite nice about bitching about somebody together. Don't you find that if there's a common enemy, it's usually quite a bonding thing for you in a relationship?
Yeah.
So if you had somebody who was in it's apparently called a unicorn, if you invite somebody into the relationship. If you both had a unicorn that you invited in, but you didn't like the unicorn.
It would be great to bitch about the unicorn.
It'd be quite fun. Like, what was she doing wearing that top?
Exactly. I guess in the way that you can kind of have fun chats with your gal pals about boys, and that's kind of bonding, you would get that with your partner. So I can imagine that would be very exciting. But I just think, practically speaking, I do not see how jealousy and possessiveness could not get in the way and completely fuck it up. Might be fun for like a week or a month, and then inevitably feelings would get involved, and I couldn't deal with that.
But in the same way of kind of a couple usually embark on things together. So lifestyle changes, like, right, we're not going to eat meat apart from on Thursdays,
Yeah.
or we're going to exercise every other day.
Yeah.
Imagine if there was like a unicorn new rule. So like, oh God, we've got to fuck our unicorn on Friday. Oh, but I don't want to. Can we just not fuck her on Thursday? Or something like that.
It would start to become a chore like everything else does.
Yeah, but it also could be quite bonding. So then you realise it's actually not. Maybe it's not that appealing to want to have kind of exciting, new, amazing, beautiful, sexy things happening all the time. Maybe there is something quite nice about being in a boring long-term relationship sometimes.
Well, I think that what a unicorn maybe represents to a long-term couple who maybe, in this example, are slightly bored, is the idea of something that's like not domestic. It's sexy and it's new and it's exciting and it's a bit dangerous. But the second that person becomes like a regular fixture, i.e. polyamory, and they become the third person in your couple, it's just another person that you're going to have fights with about like the washing up. So I don't see how that's particularly exciting. You might as well just have a fucking affair.
Yeah,
or
it's
have like
person.
a one-off threesome.
Another person that in 3 weeks' time you're going to see the real version of, and they're going to be quite annoying and make you do things that you don't want to do. Yeah, everybody eventually gets boring.
Yeah. And also I find it difficult enough to like focus on one person. So imagine having to focus on two. That would be insane.
Yeah. But it would be quite nice having, what's the word, when you want to give tasks to different things. What's that word?
When you want to be diplomatic. You
No,
want to,
not diplomatic.
when you want to give her, when you want to...
Dissociate.
Fuck! I know the word that you're
It's,
thinking of. When you want to...
Denigrate. No.
No. That's really close though. That's really close.
Yes.
It's when you want to...
Disproportionate.
No. You need to stop talking. It's when you want to...
Desiccate.
No! Stop it! It's when you want to...
Diverge. Disassociate. No.
No, that's not it at all.
It's a D though, isn't it?
It is a D. It is a D. It's when you want to...
Hand over.
Can you think of it?
Hand over. Dish.
When you want to... It's like...
Explain again.
It's when you're portioning out tasks for 2 different people or 3 different people. When you're like...
Differentiate.
Delegate.
Delegate! Fucking hell!
Delegate. Yeah. It'd be quite nice to delegate. I knew it was a D though. I knew it was a D.
He's gonna use that to lord over me later, aren't you?
It would be quite nice to delegate in a relationship. So, right, you You do the kissing on Monday. You do the washing up on Wednesday. You do the fucking on Friday, and then we switch it all up again.
I think you have a very strange view on like how this would actually work. Seriously.
You do the good texting. She needs the good texting. Don't forget about the texting. Leave 5 emoticons. You do the bins. You do the reading to the kids, and then we'll do the 69 and okay on Tuesday.
But the thing is, I think part of, I don't know, like obviously it'd be really cool in like an imagined world where you could have more than one person, so all of your ideal qualities in a partner, it would be easy to fulfill them. Somebody that is good at texting, somebody that is really good at sex, somebody that is really affectionate, somebody that is really organised. But I think that what's great about being with one person is that they are imperfect and you accept them for it anyway. Like if you're just trying to fill in the holes, like it's some sort of, board game, well, okay, he doesn't give me this, but maybe that other person can give me that. It's not really accepting who a person is. Like surely what love is about is the fact that it's one other person that you're seeing and connecting with and you're accepting them fully for who they are.
Yeah, that's bullshit. I mean, I completely understand that. But lately, because I've not been able to dedicate any time to Alfie really, and me and him as individuals in a relationship that we've decided to be in together, kind of not ignoring the fact that we have 3 children together and we've decided to have 3 children together, albeit one wasn't actually decided. It was kind of a lucky. It's every night when I've gone to bed, as he's gone upstairs to do his late night twitching and I've gone to bed pretending to fall asleep and then watching episodes of The Crown alone while breastfeeding, I've thought, I haven't really let him know that I like him today, or I haven't really let him know that I would like to have sex again one day, or things like that. And it's weird because a child almost separates you from the person whilst it's meant to join you up and bond you. No one really talks about that. The first 6 weeks after having a baby are so hard. They're really difficult. I don't know anyone who hasn't said that. That's probably why I'm fantasizing about polyamory.
I mean, the only one real life experience that I've heard of is a friend of mine who was in a long-term relationship and to kind of spice things up invited a unicorn in. But the second that this girl got there, she was like, what the fuck are you doing? You don't get to touch him. Because she knew that like her boyfriend probably fancied her a little bit. So she like said, no, the only thing you can do is touch me. Yeah. And so then it just became like a bit of a wasted opportunity and she kicked her out, So it doesn't sound like it would actually be that glamorous.
I think I'd be fine with a unicorn if it was just Alfie doing everything to the woman and I get to watch.
That's the fucking weirdest thing. What?
Because I don't know if I want to do anything.
So you're like kind of creating your own porn in a way?
No, not porn, but it's just kind of like, right, I know what you're doing. I can see you.
So basically you're like living out your greatest fear.
Yeah.
By like making it happen.
I'm confronting it. And therefore it's okay.
It's like when they say, why do you think about throwing a baby out of a window when you're holding a baby? It's because your brain is preparing.
I don't think about that. What the you're never holding this baby again?
No, I'm just saying like in scientific terms, the reason why that image comes into your brain or like, falling down the stairs is because your brain is preventing you from actually the worst thing happening by like showing you what could happen. It makes you more cautious.
Yeah.
So maybe you're thinking of Alfie fucking someone else and you think if you actually saw it happening, it would be more in your control.
Definitely, because then you would see that it's kind of a bit awkward and it's not maybe that enjoyable for the woman quite a lot of the time, or not enjoyable for him quite a lot of the time. And you would see all of the kind of the ugliness of it and or the reality of it, and it wouldn't be so scary. Maybe that's what I need a unicorn for.
That is actually a really good point. But would you want it to be somebody that's a complete stranger to both of you, or somebody that you've both chosen together? How would that process go?
Well, we've actually had this discussion quite a few times in a kind of a fantasy way, kind of like, imagine if we did this one day, which we'd never do, is how would we find someone? Because I can't really like put it on Instagram, like, hey guys,
looking for a third.
We're just like looking for a unicorn on Wednesday night after the babies have gone to bed. We can't really do that. So I don't know. I think it would have to be someone we both choose on. But I'm
going to start getting some really fucking weird DMs now.
But I think you got some friends? Okay, good. He's got a very different taste to me in every single aspect of life. So we don't fancy the same people.
Would it be a man or a woman? Sorry, I'm getting confused.
A woman, now. Obviously a woman.
Okay.
I'm not gonna.
You're not gonna get double fucked. Like that would be fucking bizarre.
I don't think Alfie's up for that.
Yeah, but the thing is, I'm sorry. If he can fucking dish it, then he should take it. If he fantasizes about the idea of being with two women, you and somebody else, he has to cope with the possibility that you might want to be like
I don't think he's
by another guy
he's
as
never
well.
ever. We've never talked about it in the actual sense. But wouldn't it be funny if I was in charge of organising?
And then this like giant guy comes in.
Alfie, I got it sorted.
And Alfie, this time I'm just gonna watch you too.
Yeah, so
There you go.
that's
Have
a good
time.
idea. That's a good idea for
I
me. Maybe
think
that's his Christmas present.
That's a challenge. That's a challenge, and it will honestly show him up to be either pathetic or the most masculine thing that he could do if he just like took it. You
But
know?
what if it goes back? What if it backfires and he runs off with this guy into the distance?
That would be so funny. That would be a sitcom.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah? I don't
Alfie's
trust
a
him.
Very open mind. Yeah,
I do
yeah.
not trust him with
But
a
the thing
fucking
is-
barge pole.
Also, like you do have to think about your like the safety of it, like the sexual health part of it would be kind of scary. You don't know what a stranger.
No. Well, that's
has
the
coming
problem.
into
I
it.
think that's why I fantasize about these kind of things so much, because I know I'll never do it because I've got such a fear of getting an STD, and I always have. And that's because of my vaginal volcano thing I had when I was 22, which we have talked about quite extensively.
Tropic thunder, I like to call it.
But I feel sorry every time I laugh. The baby goes. I feel bad.
It's so weird. He's been in a TV show and he's been in podcasts, and he's only 5 weeks old.
I know.
He's like a star.
gonna be
kid
a
already.
star.
He's gonna be a star. Have you heard that a lot of people are having sex in parks at the moment?
What?
Yeah. I think it's obviously because of people being lonely in lockdown and the fear of coming back to each other's houses. But apparently it's like a bit of an epidemic. So,
I wish I had answered that, being like, yeah, we did that last week.
Have you ever had sex outside?
No.
Have you ever had sex anywhere not a bed?
Yeah.
That wasn't worded
That
very
you have
elegantly.
to have sex not in a bed when you have kids,
Yeah.
especially if you co-sleep.
Wait, where? Where in your house? Where in your house?
Have you had sex outside?
No.
Yeah. People who have sex on the beach, that must be very uncomfortable.
That seems ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like that's just you fulfilling a fantasy, but with no actual enjoyment going on, because that
Yeah.
would just be friction.
It would just be exfoliation for your vagina again and again. It'd be
Yeah.
awful. Again and again. Yeah, no, I haven't had that, but that does make sense about sex in the parks. Yeah, it'd be I do really feel for people right now in this lockdown period who've been dating. I mean,
God, yeah.
I saw a really depressing segment on BBC News about dating in lockdown. Oh, it was so depressing.
Imagine having
Because
a
you
first
know
date
that
on
if they didn't
Zoom.
have the news crew there, they would have just gone and met in a pub and they would have gone and fucked.
Yeah.
But they had to pretend that they were just meeting for the first time, having a cup of tea outside a cafe in Cardiff, which was freezing, and just having a really awkward conversation.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. Why would you sign up to be on that BBC News round thing then?
Well, I would always say that. I love BBC News so much. Although it is I've watched so much news. I can't focus on anything when you have a newborn. Your brain goes slightly funny. So the easiest thing to have on TV is just the news the entire time. And obviously they roll the news, so I see the same news segments 50 times a day.
Yeah. Well, you must be very well informed then, at least.
But as I was saying before, I just think it's all a conspiracy now, the news. You know? I feel like everything, I know that this is actually true, and I'm not the first person to think this, and I always realise things 10 years later than everyone else. But I do think that all of the news now is fake.
Oh, so do you mean that there's sort of like very much like a neoliberal agenda and people are sort of...
I don't know what those words mean, BB. Come on. Why the fuck would I know what those words mean?
Well, I think it's something that's like people talk about a lot now in terms of the fact that obviously media is very much skewed towards like, you know...
Yeah, again, don't know what that means.
We're very lucky to be in relationships during this awful year, aren't we?
Yeah, that they haven't left. They can't leave though.
I think it's
Alfie,
been
we
a
had a
great
fight the other
test.
day, a really big fight, and we were walking along the street. So I stormed off to go and I don't know where I was going, and he did that thing which you said in the podcast last week of following behind me, and I thought, oh, he's doing the thing like BB did, and just I'm going to turn around. I knew he was following me. I'm going to turn around, and he's gonna be like, look, we're being silly. Let's go home. Let's make up. Everything's fine. But what happened was when I got to the zebra crossing, and so I had to turn back, and I saw him instinctively. I just went like this. Fuck off! I was holding holding the baby. I must have looked insane. And then it turns out I crossed the zebra crossing, and then I was like, okay, I've calmed down. He caught up with me. And I thought, all right, he's going to apologise now. And he was like, he basically didn't apologise. He said what he needed to say, and then he kept on walking.
Wow.
It was quite horrible, but I was in the wrong that day, so I do accept that, and I shouldn't have sworn like that in public, because I did look like...
Honestly, I think we swear a little bit too much in public.
I swear too much in general.
Yeah, me too.
And Donnie and Margot swear all the time.
Yeah,
Gotta
it's
stop
funny
them.
though. It is just funny when
It
kids
is really
swear.
funny. They've started doing this thing of they've just learned what this means, or they've just learned that
Middle
that
finger,
isn't the
middle
word.
finger for
To,
people
yeah,
that are
sorry,
listening.
the middle finger. Which, just for reference, that's what I just did to Alfie on the street. So Donnie has noticed that sometimes me and Alfie playfully do that at each other, but not very. We have a very healthy, nice relationship. Don't worry, it's fine. Everything's fine. But Donnie's learned that means, it's naughty. So he started doing this, and Alfie just, was wondering what he thought it meant. So he said, Donnie, what do you think that actually means? The finger. And Donnie said, I know what it means. It means I shit you. And then he held up the other finger, so it was 2 middle fingers up, and he said, and this means I shit you to God. And it was so funny that
is great.
we
I'm gonna start
couldn't
saying
correct
I shit
him.
You to God.
I shit you.
I shit you to
I
God
shit
is
you.
wonderful. That is fierce.
I know. So we have accidentally made them quite rude. But it's so funny. It's kind of worth it.
It's kind of worth it.
And it's harmless. And we say, you can't do that anywhere outside the house. They don't do it at school. It's fine. The only funny thing is, obviously they know at school that Alfie they asked what your parents do. And Donnie said, Harry Potter. What does your mum do? Harry Potter. Okay. And what does your daddy do? He's a comedian. And so Alfie...
No, it'll be Harry Potter and Twitch. Those should be the
Harry
two
Potter,
professions.
which Donnie calls Switch. And so he came back home and he said, Mummy, I have to learn. They want me to tell them an appropriate joke. So he'd obviously been doing something inappropriate at school.
He's going to be such a cool kid, though.
So I've been trying to teach him jokes. Anyway, I think we've talked a lot about relationships and how awful mine is.
Well, I was just going to say that it's obviously really cool and lucky that we've been in relationships this year.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not a particularly relationship person ever. Like, this is my longest relationship to date. And fucking hell. Jessie just sprayed water all over her face.
It's really hard to drink
Yeah.
in public.
You got a little tear, yeah.
Yeah.
But something that I realised is that because of this year's, strange constrictions, in a way it's allowed for, such an intense intimacy that I haven't experienced before, because...
That's
it's
a horrible sentence. I don't want to know that. Such an intense intimacy.
We've just been talking about you potentially getting double penetrated, okay? So you can fuck off.
Such an intense intimacy.
I don't mean we hold each other and whatever. But the fact is that there's no things for us to go and do. We can't go ice skating or go to the movies or, distract ourselves with anything. We've just had to spend all of our time together, playing PS4 or talking or whatever. And it's still been wonderful and amazing.
It's definitely a sign of a good relationship if you can do nothing together. But that's also exactly what me and Alfie, we never ever been able to go to the things because we had a baby.
Exactly. And it's made me realise how grateful I am to just be with somebody that can experience that. But I've also experienced so many health problems this year that Horatio has had to kind of deal with that. I don't know, it's just made me realise that maybe the good relationships aren't the really sexy, cool, amazing ones that are just filled with going on loads of fancy holidays. It's somebody that's going to put up with you having a weird rash all the time.
Yeah, definitely. That's quite bonding as well.
Yeah.
Kind of knowing that you can say these kind of things to each other and it's not going to put you off being as disgusting as you actually are. Yeah. So you've had a problem with your coil lately. I think that's what Bibi's trying to get at. She loves talking about her coil.
I
do think that it's
talking about my
I
coil.
think it's a really good area of discussion that it would be helpful. Like when I've been more open lately about pregnancy and breastfeeding, I got so many amazing, helpful comments, and to help me with mastitis and everything. And I think that this is a really important topic that you should share.
Okay. Well. to go into it, I have a coil. It's my second one. I had the copper one before because I didn't want any hormones. I get really bad migraines. We all do. So I just thought it'd be better to not have anything hormonal. Also, in terms of vanity, I was scared that my acne would come back. I had really, really bad acne as a teenager, that it would like make my like weight maybe fluctuate a little bit. So I thought the copper one was the best one. It was so painful to get it put in, but obviously I kind of expected that. But then after about a year, it made my periods so heavy that I was like super anemic. And Jessie said I started to look like really ghostly and pale. So I thought for my health, the right thing to do would be to get it switcherooed out with the hormonal one. But when I went to have it taken out, the doctor said that it was already like dislodged through my cervix. So that was something that I thought was super unlikely. They say it's something like 0.8% to 5% likely that would happen to anyone, but it happened to me. And I had to wait to get the next one put in. That was in September, and I had a checkup recently, and the same thing has happened again. So,
but then you looked it up.
And I looked it up, and I've been looking at this birth control forum on Reddit, and the stories are fascinating. It's women all freaking out about their coils, about the controls, the pills that they're on, these patches, like the injection, and seemingly awful things happen all the time. But all of these women are like sort of countering everything they're saying with, but I know this is probably just me. I probably have a weird fucked up body, and it's probably just my fault because I'm just like a stupid, ugly, fat whore, you know? But actually, it's like clearly this does happen a lot. And I know everybody's body is different. You have to try out different things. But if the doctor had just told me, given me some sort of a glimpse or an insight into the fact that this could happen, I think I would have been so much more well prepared. Whereas now I've had like this horrible few months where this really freakish thing has happened, and I feel like I'm doing something wrong. And obviously Harish's been super supportive and everything, but he doesn't have to fucking do anything. I have to be the person that deals with all of this on my own, and it's really scary and horrible.
So it'd be quite interesting to know, out of the people who listen to the podcast, if anyone's experienced the same
thing, dislodging twice. I mean, Jesus Christ, I hate doing the self-examinations. I've always been really squeamish about touching my
vagina.
Cervix. Yeah. Anybody else, fair game. But myself, I've always found it really strange. But I decided to do it last night because, I wanted to see what the fuck was happening. And, I mean, I could fully feel the plastic and everything.
Oh, that's just absolutely terrifying. I've never been able to... That
doesn't seem natural. Like, am I damaging my body right now? I don't know by still having it in there, because the doctor said it provides, like, some protection until I decide to get the next one put in, which is a smaller one, which will inevitably
Does it affect fertility at all, cervix stuff?
Apparently, the second it comes out, you go back to normal fertility straight away again. So... But it just seems like this is so bizarre. I can't go on the pill because of my headaches. So
yeah, well, that's why I can never go on the pill, and that's why I've got 3 kids.
Yeah. So does the natural contraceptive thing where you take your temperature every morning, does that work? If anybody's tried that, could you leave a little comment?
How many people out of 100 say, do you reckon...
actually using birth control? Because so many of my friends don't use anything.
Yeah, you just it's fine not to. Obviously...
Yeah, you can talk. You fucking great example.
No, Jesus. But it's fine. You just...
Christ.
Don't let it come in you.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Don't let it come in you?
Don't let the cum in you.
Oh, yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. And that's 99% effective.
Yeah.
Obviously. But so... And also, I think it'd be really interesting to know, out of, say, 100 people on the pill, how many of those people experience side effects that are actually quite bad.
Yeah.
So, like acne, weight gain, weight loss,
I just don't know what I'm willing to put up with. I don't think that anything is worth it. But then maybe I'm just saying that because, I don't know, I haven't experienced what it's like to be in a relationship and not have anything. It might be hell. It just feels like such a complicated thing to have to deal with when nobody really talks about it that much. So I'm just sort of like, what the fuck is wrong with me then?
The most zen person I've ever met who, she was amazing. She basically did this thing of natural fertility.
Yeah,
so you just know. Cycles. Yeah, you know when you're not fertile. And it is quite obvious. But at the same time, I am also an example of what not to do, because I thought I was doing that and then I got pregnant with Donnie.
Yeah.
So... It is
after having sex with somebody once.
Yeah, so it is a bit difficult. The other thing, let me just sort this baby out. I'm really worried because I'm really worried his shit's gonna start coming out of his trousers. It's all right. Hey, I'm gonna change you in a minute. We're almost done. almost done. Oh. He thought this one's been great, actually. Yeah, you're a big fan. Big fan of the podcast, aren't you?
I wonder how many men listen to our podcast, because I feel like we've been very, very
2.
female today.
There's one. Alfie has not listened to any.
Mm-hmm.
But I would also be... Oh. Almost done. I would also be really interested to know about waxing. I know that we've talked about waxing a lot, but I had a similar thing of never thinking anything of it, having regular waxes on my vagina. And then I had a bad experience where I had a really bad rash. And I looked it up, and it was... If I had looked it up before I'd even had my first wax, I would never, ever have got that done. Because but that's the problem of looking up anything.
I know, obviously people are much more likely to leave a negative experience than a positive one.
Yeah.
But...
Oh, damn. It's all right. Should we have a pause? Are we recording? Okay. Given that it's been now months, we last did a show in February.
Yeah.
February 15th.
Yeah.
It's been so long now since doing a live show, I can't actually imagine what that would even be like.
I know. All I remember is how nervous I was. Like, I genuinely felt like I was going to be sick. But then the feeling afterwards when it's gone well and it just feels so great. Like, that's
but if it's gone badly...
Oh, my God, that's the worst feeling in the world. Oh, my God.
Very often that feeling was more common to me than not with you, but on my own whenever I came off, and it would be... It's quite devastating.
Yeah, but I think it must just be the extreme emotions must be what pull people into it, because it's nice to feel something in a world that's so kind of bleak and empty.
Well, when the lockdown eased slightly and Alfie started doing, when he started gigging again and it went badly, he would come home and straight away do a Twitch, because it was his way of getting that. It was like a cycle, a really, really not very healthy cycle. And it kind of it made him feel good about himself if he had at least something that night that had gone well.
Yeah. I can completely understand that. It's like the weird validation you get when you've had a shit day, but you post a nice Instagram and you get loads of people liking it.
Yes.
It just is some like message from the world, like, no, you're fine, you're valid, even though that's probably like the unhealthiest way to feel good about yourself. But that must be what the psychology is.
Yeah.
So we're doing a live podcast next year in February with Live Nation.
Yeah. God, that's terrifying. So if you want to buy tickets, you can't buy tickets yet.
Yeah, you can. They went on sale on today. They went on sale today.
Great, okay.
Oh wow, Friday.
So you can
they
buy
went on sale today.
them.
Friday.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, you'll see us in person. You'll see if we're short or tall.
How tall do you think we are? That's a nice guessing game.
We're actually much shorter, I think, than people expect.
You are. I think I come across as quite tall.
No, I think I come across as taller than you personality-wise, and then actually I'm shorter than you, which people don't expect.
No.
So we're
I don't think you are
guaranteed
shorter.
fun.
You're not shorter than me now. I think I've shrunk, and also my posture's so bad.
Yeah. Whereas I'm a dancer, so I have a kind of outward posture, you know?
Yeah. So
She doesn't agree with that, so that's fine.
I think a lot of the time your posture's really bad, but when you choose to stand well, you stand brilliantly.
So that's the bitchiest backhanded compliment that you could give me.
When you choose to do something.
When you choose to not look like a slob, you look good.
Yeah. And we're going to be doing you might have read my birth story on my Patreon, our Patreon, on this weekend, which should be very nice of you. And just wanted to say thank you to everybody who has stuck with the Patreon. That's really amazing.
So cool to support your favourite artists, because we're such artists.
It's been such a weird period of time, but it will become more regular now, which is really nice.
Totally.
So thank you.
Thank you so much for that.
Yeah,
thank you.
nice.
You guys have honestly helped heal my eczema. It's only on my arms now. It's only on my arms. It's off my back, off my chin, just my arms, which I can cope with because it's jumper season, so that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. Maybe you haven't washed the jumper enough.
No, this is today. It's a fresh out the wash jumper.
Maybe you're allergic to the detergent.
I think it's because I just don't enjoy showering as much as other people do.
Yeah, I find this hilarious.
I just don't enjoy washing myself.
Whenever you said this about Horatio, you said the other day, whenever I'm with him, and he goes to have a shower, I always just think, oh God, is that time again? Is it time again for another shower? So funny.
I just don't really get a lot of pleasure out of it.
Nor does Alfie. Alfie showers so irregularly.
It's just like it's a chore. I'm a nighttime showerer, and then sometimes it's like I got into bed. I had to tidy my room. I don't want to have to do that now.
I am a twice a day usually. I shower in the morning and the evening.
Well, that's not very eco-conscious for a vegan to
I know.
admit, is it? You know, I'm saving water.
Yeah, that's very true.
I'm probably also making my eczema worse because I'm not washing my skin
Yeah,
enough.
you need to use Dermal 500.
I do on my face. I just
Yeah,
don't use
just
that on my
don't
body.
use it on your body, you idiot. That's what
Really?
it's for.
You use that on your body?
That's what you're meant to use it for. It's for eczema. That's what kids have in the bath.
Oh.
Yeah, stupid.
I don't have a bath. though.
Stupid?
So yeah, maybe as I become more of an adult, I will start to wash my body a little
Just
more.
wash once a day, BB.
Yeah,
it's
that's
not
probably
that
the
difficult.
goal, isn't it? I don't have a lot of natural body odor, so I don't see the point.
Yeah, we don't smell very
No.
bad. Yeah, we don't sweat or
Yeah.
smell.
So you'll see us. We're short and we don't smell.
But it's I've always been jealous of people that have a really strong body odor.
What the
I am.
fuck?
Girls, not boys. Girls.
Oh, what? Because of the pheromones?
Yeah, I just always think, oh, they're so sexy. They have they have a smell.
I've always thought, I bet Lisa Kudrow has a very strong body smell. She seems like that. She's got a pungent smell
She's my favourite.
I
She's
love
always
her.
been my favourite.
so much.
Yeah,
So
she's
much.
also done the best.
Yeah. In a way, because she had the kind of coolest, quirkiest career. And I think that you watch Friends as a young person, you think, oh, Phoebe's like, the quirky one. I'm going to like her. Then you rewatch it as a teenager and you're like, oh, Phoebe's so annoying. Like, she just makes all these dumb jokes. And then you rewatch it again as an adult and you realize actually her performance is very clever and intricate. So,
Very clever and intricate.
It's
And also, she had such a big
amazing.
storyline with the triplets and then giving them away.
God, yeah.
And she underplayed that on purpose because she found it too hard.
Yeah. And we both try to be Phoebes in our real life, but neither of us are.
I'm not trying. I just am. Just
You're
am
not-
Phoebe.
you're a
I'm a
Monica.
Monica.
You're
I'm a fucking Monica. I am
You're the
such a
most
Monica.
Monica person I've ever met in my life.
I know. I wish I wasn't. I'm so uptight. Sometimes I have to just remind myself to my face when I'm watching something and I'm looking at it. I just feel my face like just being so tight and stressed. Or something happens, like someone wears shoes in the house, and I haven't like explained that they have to take their shoes off, and then they just like. Oh, it happened the other day. I've now, because I don't want to look like an anal bitch, so I say to Donnie, okay, if anyone comes in the house, you tell them to take their shoes off, okay? And he loves that kind of power, so he's like, the second anyone comes in, he's like, you have to take your shoes off. But he forgot to somebody who was coming in the house, so they didn't take their shoes off. And they weren't staying long, so they were just hovering in the kind of corridor area. And I was like, okay, well, that's okay, because that's wooden floor. I can clean that. That's fine. Just don't go anywhere near the carpet. I couldn't say that to them, but I was just hoping they didn't go anywhere near the carpet. Just before they left, they saw a book in the corner of the room, walked all over the carpet to get to the book, and I just saw this happening. And I could feel my face kind of burn. And then it happened. She sat on the sofa. Put her legs up on the sofa. She had her shoes on.
That is really rude. That's
I know.
really rude.
So I couldn't help it. I was like, you need to get your shoes on the sofa.
So I think what makes you a Monica is that your default emotion that you would jump to is like neurotic anger.
OCD.
And what makes me a Rachel, because I am a Rachel,
It's your
is that
nipples.
It's my hard nipples, and it's my default emotion is weepy sadness, because I can I
Yeah.
flit into that so easily, But you're a Taurus and I'm a Cancer, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
And Horatio's an Aries.
Yeah. Well, I don't think you actually are, Rachel. I think you're kind of a mixture of all three. I don't think you're not as kind of you're just a bit more airheady.
Rachel is an airhead. Rachel is an airhead, though, in
She's
some
not.
ways.
She's a businesswoman.
No, she's this princess who comes to the city and she doesn't understand how stuff
Oh, yeah,
works.
maybe.
And then she develops into herself.
Yeah.
I'm not airheady.
You are slightly airheady sometimes, and then you say things like neoliberalism, and it's just like, what? You shouldn't be saying stuff like that.
I know. Do you think that we should make this more like, should we talk more about topical stuff, do you think?
I don't know any topics.
And in a way, it's like, it's boring as well. Like, topical stuff is boring.
Yeah.
Like, nobody really knows what they're talking about. So, like, maybe we should just stick to talking about the stuff that we do actually know about, which is the minutiae of our lives.
Yeah, and
We
also,
can be the Seinfeld of podcasts, you know, a show about nothing, a podcast about nothing.
well, I think that's where we'll end it today.
Yeah.
This is not a topical podcast.
Not topical.
And
Don't
it never will
expect
be.
anything from us.
BB didn't cry.
I didn't cry today.
I don't feel like I look my most tired.
She looks beautiful, and everybody should comment how beautiful Jessie
Please
looks.
just say I don't look tired. Just say I don't look tired underneath. I mean, I haven't slept, but I didn't wear my bad makeup, so hopefully it's not kind of,
You look gorgeous.
so just be nice. And
Thank you very much again to Magda Archer, who made the music for our intro. I think it's super cool.
sassy intro music now.
And
And follow us on Patreon.
yes,
And
if you want to see some fun, exclusive bonus bitching that me and Jessie will be doing.
yeah, we're
Right
about
now.
to do that right now.
Yeah, talking about The Crown.
Talking about The Crown, which I've been watching late at night.
Horatio gets really annoyed because we never know how to end these.
We're ending it now.
We're ending it
it
okay?
now.
So 3, 2, 1.
She's going crazy now. She's going crazy. Watch her now.